গুড ইভিনিং। আজকে আমি যে বিষয়টা খুব একটা ডিমান্ডেড পার্ট, যেগুলো ইউজুয়ালি দ্য স্টুডেন্টস দে frequently demand from the teachers, and being curious about English, they seek the teachers who can help them to teach English, about how to speak English. And the very beginning, I would just like to say, and this matter. A few minutes back, I was listening a report based on Hindi from Delhi. All of a sudden, I was very much noticed about I need to see something about the seekers, the students, those who are eagerly following and seeking the YouTubes, to have a teacher who can teach them perfectly or correctly so that they can use it onwards, afterwards, with a view to have a stronghold and confidence afterwards, and they can use listening and learning the same. That is a complicated matter to me. Referring to this topic, spoken English classes with grammar. So leading grammar is really a chapter that is to be followed consistently, episodically. Gradually it is to be followed, then only just a student will be able to apply this one. So grammar, just I am separating this, following the system that we usually follow. As an examples that we are being Bengali speakers, and we have picked up and we have acquired the spoken Bengali without learning grammar, without having knowledge, reading in details, attending grammar classes, we can speak fluently. The similar has to be. Similarly, you can follow and you can try. It would be effective. But literally and rhetorically would not that much be activated. That is the question that is. So it is not the matter. Initially, you need to just communicate others, and being an officer, being employed, that you can use English officially. That is needed much. That is important. That is significant here. For the students, they are eagerly search and seek the teachers and interview. Really, that knocks me, and I am very much regretted. And nowadays, I follow one of my students, Indranil Das. He has started spoken English classes. Basically, he is very much habituated to teach the students, honor students. He is professionally a teacher, yes, of course. I am not a teacher. I was not a teacher. I was an engineer initially. And thereafter, just it is my first. I dislike to disclose about this matter. It is my personal life and how I have picked up that I can share this idea to you. So remember, the teachers usually they say, you listen, and listen will help you to have the language to follow. When being understood, when you will be understandable there. If you can understand English, and the next point, it is to be applied, it is to be copied, or it is to be presented publicly. or toward your subordinate or being in office, just you can share your ideas with your bosses, with your subordinates, and so on and so forth. Like. So this is the question. This is important much. This is valued. This is precise, and we are not actually interested just to teach the students in the process. Now the question arises: to whom will they listen? Can you suggest me? Can the teacher suggest any YouTubers or the classes? Or do they follow English channels, news channels, or classes? So why do not the teachers they say you have to attend the listening classes, but that must be based on English? So it is needed much. And without grammar it can be, I told you, it can be. But possibility is 50-50. But with grammar, a student can speak or write English literally or rhetorically correct. But following this spoken class and just delivering a speech on a topic, based on a topic, that would be active much. Right? The base and the basic is important. And culturally, whenever the classes are going on, at the same time the teacher should illustrate about the grammatical concept, the minimum, that the basic concept is, or basic concepts are to be followed. Everyone you know perhaps, there are 3,500 grammar rules, but they hardly know. I am not saying it is David Crystal, he has studied in a book. But without following grammar and speaking or just delivering or writing a sentence or means what is called a letter or a subjective matter in details to suggest someone else to your followers or that you can forward to your superiors. So that should be, that ought to be much important. Oh yes, Indranil Das, who is now appeared to be organizer of this spoken English classes. I follow. He convinces the students to attend his classes. And the students they can follow, because I have never attended or nor I have time to attend, because once he was my disciple and he continued 5 more years with me and I have taught him whatever could be possible at that time. Basically the students, they feel themselves without following the grammatical concept, one can deliver a speech without interruption and fluently. Yes, possible, but one should devote it, and dedication is important. So, attending the classes or listening, then reading, all are equally important. Listen first, then application, then reading, then writing. All are equally important. Even then, the teachers, they try to make it possible without going into the depth of grammatical concept. In this regard, in this context, I would say it will be made possible. I have written it a little. It can be, you see, just within a moment I have written it. It cannot be visible for us. If you find, you can have it. So this is that. Momentarily. Now I am going to express the same fact. How it is not, how can it be affected? So what I have written, to whom will you listen to develop your own confidence strong to speak English? Of course, it is followed and suggested frequently by the spoken English teachers on YouTube. It is written. Regarding or referring to this context, I would simply ask the teachers cordially to use English during online classes. I can guess the students are found curious much and they eagerly follow ongoing classes. I agree with their concept on spoken English. That is significantly important, though I hardly follow the online classes due to lack of time. Notwithstanding, I can not keep myself separated at making comment on this topic, so I am present here telling you something else. Now the query or the question arises on listening English. Hardly the English teachers use English during their teachings. Obviously, an issue to be noticed as mostly the honors classes are mainly based on interpreting the subjective matter in Bengali. Hence the impact is found ineffective to the students. So the next part I have written somewhere else, and now let me find it out. If it's possible, then I shall there. If not, then I also I have found it. Now, it is really puzzling matter to the students. It is found. As the students need to listen, the speakers, the seek, the teachers, but regretted. They instead finding out such teachers depend on the YouTube teachers. But the question arises here, would the teachers be helpful to the students? The question is like a labyrinth at learning, attending classes. It's a labyrinth. You are curious minded, you please attend, and your attention will make. When you will be attentive and with sincere, you will attend classes and you must learn something else and your little learning and just your little application. When you will be with your friends or colleagues or in the classes or being in the office, you must try to apply, and this will help you a lot about this. It is not a lot, it cannot be used. It cannot be measured, you cannot fathomized, you cannot measure it. There is no measuring gauge to have knowledge. How can you find a person is talented or not? It is not exactly the process, but still we need the students, the next generation. They become curious much after 12 years, completion of first secondary. They feel it is the time, and by that time they find English has become much important. It has become a global language. We need to have knowledge to establish oneself. Or to have employment or being employed, they can lead their life. Earning is important to lead a life peacefully, and without earning, it is not possible to lead a life independently. I feel there are plenty of services and jobs are there. The job seekers, they must find those who are talented and those who can speak fluently, those who are fluent at English, they can find the job. Jobs are really available. Vacancies are laid out, but you have to have that one with your talent. And you know, whenever just you will be talented, you will be smarter in English language, you will be able to find all the questions, answer all the problems in your life that arises. You can solve it momentarily, following the Google or having that internet, and you can have all the answers is readily available in the computers or either in your Android sets. Try to have it and evaluate it. I think it will be helpful to you to listen me and follow and say your own friends, colleagues, follow this. I think it will be helpful. Nothing more today. Good evening.